Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today we're going to be doing some Flycatcher action in the Abyss. I have never actually flown the Flycatcher before. In fact, when we undock now, it'll be the first time I ever undock in a Flycatcher. This is the Caldari Interdictor Destroyer. It's a ship that I've never really considered before, but a viewer commented on one of my videos where I was using a Jackdaw in the Abyss and said, oh, maybe try the Flycatcher to do a similar thing. So I decided to do that then, and I'm going to try this in T2 Dark Abyss. I was thinking other filaments could be a possibility as well, but I decided T2 Dark Abyss here because I had a hard time getting a good tank on this fit. With the low slot, with the mid slots, it's like it felt like it was hard to put a really good tank that didn't run out of capacitor. So instead, I've got like not a crazy tank. I've got this Pithi A-type small shield booster, Multispectrum over here, and an EM shield reinforcer. And I decided to go then for dark, because in dark sites you're going really fast, everything's got bad tracking, you'll have an easier time in dodging stuff. And this ship is also pretty fast. See here, 1k a second here, a really quick ship right here. So we're going to do T2 Dark Abyss. I put this Bayloading Accelerator as well to get some extra DPS. Only 2 rigs are allowed on these Tech 2 ships in general, so I was thinking use the most like rig calibration space with this one rig right here. It uses a lot of rig fitting. So we've got the missiles, and then it's also got a blaster that it has like as a secondary weapon. So the main thing is missiles, but then we've also got this blaster which we could use here in, for example, battleship waves, something like that. We should check here. Agitated Dark, let's undock. So this is the first time I'm ever undocking in the Flycatcher. I don't think this will be optimal for it because, I mean, this ship gets a bonus to shield HP points, so probably this would be good in the gamma sites. On the other hand, it's not good for gamma sites because this ship only gets a bonus to kinetic missiles. So in gamma sites you have reduced explosive resistance. It's not going to be as optimal. I was thinking then, okay, we could take it into the kinetic, but the thing is, kinetic, like the kinetic sites, like the exotic sites, I was thinking that would be a good option, but the thing is, like, I'll have a hard time tanking. I think I will not be a good time tanking stuff there. I feel like the tank is too low, so that's why I'm opting in for the dark side, so we can dodge a lot of the deadly stuff. And that's also a reason why I got this EM shield reinforcer. One thing is that this ship naturally comes with very low EM resist, but also because the angels, which are the most deadly waves for small stuff in the like dark sites, they do a lot of EM damage as well. So I get some EM resist, even though it's not that much. Hopefully it'll be enough to get through. And one thing I noticed about this ship is that it looks really good, actually. Really good. I didn't expect it to look this good. I've never really considered using this ship before, but it looks a lot better than I thought, because I've always been just seeing this ship as an icon like this, but actually flying it, it looks a lot better than I thought it was. So we're going to form a fleet right here and jump right in. Hope this goes good. Again, the angel waves are usually the most deadliest ones for like small stuff in dark sites, so those are the ones I'm going to be most worried about. But hopefully we'll get through. They're not too bad in the T2 Abyss. Oh, look how cool this ship looks in the dark side with all the shadows. Alright, let's get into this. Where are they? Let's go. We're going to go super fast with this Afterburner and the dark side, because we increase our speed with the dark side. So now, what is our max speed? 1.5k, something like that. Let's see if we can like hug these guys with our blasters. Where's our blaster range? Oh, it's only 1k. Maybe if we put the null and get some blast damage if we just hug these guys. Let's see if we can actually do that. They're hardly doing any damage to us, so that's great. So now we're doing any damage in this? No, it's nothing. We'll make our way towards the transfer conduit then, because we've got the really good range with this ship right here. Really good range. The Flycatcher, I think it gets a bonus to its light missile, so we're able to hit 47 kilometers away. Yes, we're going like speedy. It could be like an option to put a MWD on this, because this ship gets a bonus to like MWD signature radius penalty. That could be an option as well. Thing is, the capacitor is really bad. Otherwise, I was thinking it could be an option. We're not even cap stable actually, but since we've got 2 cap batteries, it's really great because we're going to be able to like negate a lot of neuting. So hopefully it'll go good, even though we're not cap stable. I mean, in the Dark Abyss, it doesn't matter really that you're not fully cap stable or as cap stable as other sites, since you don't take as much damage as other sites. Seems like they're just way too far away for my blasters. Maybe it could have been an idea to go with something else, like a pulse laser or something like that. I'll at least have a bit more range. because in the dark sides it nerfs the range, so of turrets that is. It's going to be even worse, and blasters are one of the shortest range weaponries in the game. Maybe something here. Misses completely. Neutron blaster misses completely. You know, it's alright DPS. Oh, we've got like 200 something just with the missiles. 270 with the missiles. So I mean, it's alright. And Jackdaws can get better though. I think they can quite easily get 300 DPS. And I mean, just with the missiles. They don't have any blaster like this has. That it's not hitting half the time. But I mean, I think it's still fun to see what these other types of ships that are not as conventional in the Abyss are able to do. I think it's just fun to see different new ideas, because something that's not used by other people, it might be better than expected. If it up front doesn't seem so good, it might actually be better than that, because I mean, it happens like that sometimes. Like the Sunesis, I never really considered it to be a good hauling ship, but it actually is one of the best hauling ships you can have in the game because of just its overall stats, align time, and that kind of stuff. So they sometimes ships can be more than they seem. Don't judge a book by its cover, or don't judge a ship by its ship icon. Oh, they're getting close, awfully close actually, but they're not going to hit us anything almost, because they are like really, they got no range, because usually they have so little range that they cannot hit us, but here they're going to have even less range, so they're going to not hit us at all. We're just going to cruise around. Racing speeds 1.5k a second. What is our total shield buffer? I mean, it's 1.2k HP is not that much, but we do have some decent resists. Like, generally speaking, Tech 2 ships have good resists. So we have a decent amount of buffer anyway. I think it'll be enough to survive a wrecking shot. I think that is. One thing I was, like, very surprised with the ship is that it only has one low slot. Like, what is that? I've never seen a ship with just one low slot before. The Punisher and the Retribution, they have 2 mid slots, and I thought, oh, that's crazy. They only have 2 mid slots, but here only 1 low slot. Feels very limiting, because I think that it would be nice if we had an extra one for increased DPS. So if you wanted to have extra tank, put damage control, at least 2. But no, not even 2. 1. I was a bit surprised seeing that. Missile-based ships in general, like we've got right now, are usually good in the Dark Abyss. I mean, they're not affected in the same way. Either, you know, with the turret-based weaponry, their range is reduced quite a big degree. Here, this guy is getting on top of me, so we want to actually pull some range here. But the turret-based weaponry really does not work here that well, as you can see. But the missiles are really nice because they're not affected at all. The only thing is that many missile cruisers, the problem I have with many missile-based cruisers is hard to get good application with them. Cerberus and other types of missile-based cruisers, they can apply good, but you often need to have a lot of like focus on application modules to get them to apply decently in the dark sides. And it's quite annoying. When it comes to light missile-based ships like this Destroyer right here, you don't have to have any modules at all, and we still apply really good. So I think that in general, the light missile-based ships for dark sides are a lot more simple. But like obviously, rapid lights are not usually that great on a cruiser because they're like just as the only weapon system, because they have a very bad damage over time. Like they have really a lot of reload time, and that really cuts into your speed or clearing speed. Even though your application is really good, but your clearing speed is going to be really bad because of how much time you can spend reloading. Oh, some big volleys we got there. 1.7k. Wow. Maybe snipe this extraction node right here. We're on the test server, so I'm not really bothering with these cans, but maybe just see how it feels to shoot these extraction subnodes. Is there and even automatic suppressor? Because I felt like those few volleys hardly did any damage. Look how little damage we're doing Scylla Tyrannus right there. Why are we doing so little damage? Very little damage, actually. I felt like Ephialtes went down. Oh! Oof! Ephialtes went down quickly. I'll go towards Charybdis while keeping a bit of angle on Charybdis and Scylla. They were doing a lot of damage at one point. This is when I was staying still. It's not as much buff as I thought, actually. Like, it went down pretty quickly, that shields right there. I think my interdiction skills are not that high. Interdiction? Oh, my interdictor skill is only level 1. That explains it. Sorry, guys. Okay, but it doesn't really affect much. It just increases my shield hit points. But it would be good if I was going passive, like passive tanks. Then it would be good to have that high skill. It would help a lot. Only Charybdis Tyrannos left. And this is where we can get up close and personal with the Void. Because then we'll be able to do a lot of damage. Even though this has really bad range, we'll still be able to be really close. Just hug Charybdis. Shoot away, you know. Orbit at 500. Blasty blast. Like this. Look, you can see you can hit something. It's really bad, but it's something at least. Might be able to have maybe a railgun even, just because of how bad this range is. Like, even though we're orbiting at 500, it doesn't seem that great. So we might want to put Null and sort of try to get some damage going on. I'm surprised how long it took to destroy Scylla Tyrannos, the cruiser, because it was taking a really long time for that one cruiser. Yeah, the battleship, I mean, it's going a bit slow, but it doesn't feel a whole lot slower, in my opinion, compared to Scylla, the cruiser. It feels a bit strange right there. Don't know if we're getting bad application, because it could happen that the Fury missiles not applying that well. Somehow, even the light missiles usually apply perfectly, but especially considering it's a cruiser, but maybe he was going very fast in a dark side or something like that. Yeah, it's really a case of just orbiting this guy. This ship right here, I find it looks a lot like this ship called the Daedalus, or Daedalus, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but there's this kind of ship from some sci-fi lore there. It looks very similar. See this one right here? Okay, maybe it doesn't look so much like it, but it reminds me a bit this shape right here, where it's got like this long base and then these wings on the back. It gives me the same feelings, at least, as this one right here. This is really not going that quick. I think if you want to do T2 Dark, probably a Jackdaw will be better, to be honest, because you'll be able to get more DPS. I think you'll be able to get more tank as well. Only thing is, I think the Flycatcher is a bit quicker than a Jackdaw, because I'm really like impressed how quick this thing is. Solo T2 Jackie. Yeah, look, we're in, if we're going propulsion mode with an Afterburner, we've got 700 meters a second. This thing now is using only a Tech 2. So if we were to put like something like a 1MN C type or A type is what we've got right here. 860 meters a second in propulsion mode. This thing, this Flycatcher over here, it's not even got propulsion mode or anything like that. It just normally is going with the same Afterburner over 1k a second. So without this, we're going sharpshooter, 600 meters a second, so almost half the speed as the Flycatcher. And I think that it would help a lot reducing damage in the dark side. So I think the Flycatcher is quite suited for doing dark sides, since it's going super quick and go very fast. Take like it's affected more by the, you know, the local weather effects of the dark sides, where it's going to go even faster. It's just unfortunate that I have a hard time getting good tank on this. There's a lot of CPU to spare. So something I was thinking is that you could put maybe something like Pithi X type shield boost amplifiers, but they're very expensive. Thing is, those modules, amp, Pithi X type shield boost amp, it's one of the modules that use like the most amount of CPU in the game, like 77 CPU in this one module here. Absolutely crazy. We put something like a multispectrum shield hardener, Bitham C-type multispectrum, maybe even a Bitham B-type. But I mean, this is now very expensive, and feels like what's the point of going so expensive when you're just using Destroy Abyss and T2 Abyss? Like, it's really no point. It's not worth it at all.
A module has run out.
May as well use cruisers for higher tiers or something like that. But it's a cool ship nonetheless. I like the appearance of this ship right here. A very pleasure to fly otherwise. I think the Angel Wave might kill this, but I think this would be able to T2 Darks. I'm not sure. I think the Angel Wave would be able to kill this. Martial Wave probably would be a bit annoying, but still not too bad, because Martial Wave will not apply as good in the dark side. We also go really fast. So just straight off the bat, we're going to be going so fast that it will make the application to the marshals do a lot less damage. Then when it comes to the resist profile of the Flycatcher as well, if we look here, thermal damage or thermal resistance and explosive are relatively high. Explosive is not as high, but thermal is very high, and that's very good because martial waves predominantly do thermal damage. Some marshals, the Arrester Marshal Disparate Troop, he does explosive, but most of them otherwise do thermal damage. So that's why it's really good to have this one very high. And that's exactly what this ship has got right here. Very high thermal resist. So I think the Marshal waves won't be too bad. Angels will be a big problem though, because we've got low EM resist. Not going to be a good time. Go towards the Origin Conduit and get out of this hellhole of T2 Dark. Now that wave in the end, the Charybdis Tyrannus wave, it did not go good. I mean, it went well, but it was a very slow wave. It was not that great. I wanted it to go quicker. I mean, look at this time here. T2 Dark in 14 minutes. That is horrible. Do T4s and cruisers quicker than this. And T4s and cruisers are going to give much more loot than this. Much more loot than this. So we'll do that any day over this. But I think it's fun to see what's possible, what's not possible. And ships that are not conventionally used in a PvE role or Abyss role like this. Try them out, see how they work. So that's it. A bit of Flycatcher in T2 Abyss. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.